Hello, everyone. My name is Christina Liu. Thank you so much for joining me on this day 17 of this video series on building mental fitness. I am a mental fitness coach. Now, yesterday I talked to you about the last two of the Sage Powers. And then today and tomorrow, I'm going to start talking about how this concept of mental fitness or positive intelligence or PQ can be applied to many areas of your life. And so I talked about how PQ is the X factor, or mental fitness is the X factor in performance and happiness. And so that's the areas that I'm going to talk to you about, is how you can use this concept to improve your performance, whether it's as an individual or as a leader, as a team, and as well as how you can use this concept to feel sustainably happier. And when it comes to happiness, it's really about managing your own stress as well as your relationships with others. So today I'm going to talk about mainly how you can become happier, right? So managing stress, and also how you can perform better. And then tomorrow I'm going to touch on more of the relationship related topics. Right. So first, about stress management and how mental fitness can help. Remember what I said about that all negative emotions come from the saboteur. And so when you're feeling stress, this is a saboteur generated emotion. And remember also that saboteurs, what they tell you, they're lies, even though their intention is good, but really what they tell you is not the truth. So when you believe in the lies that the saboteurs tell you, that's how you can have stress. However, what you can do when you're feeling stress is to first label it as the saboteur. So to disconnect that feeling of, or that thought from yourself, because that's not your true self. So when you can do that, then you can do something called the PQ reps. So remember, I told you this is 10 seconds of focusing your attention on a physical sensation. So this can be rubbing your hands, or rubbing two fingers together, or taking deep breaths. So when you do this, you diffuse that negative feeling, whether it's stress or anxiety. And then when you're able to do that, once the saboteur feelings kind of dissipates a little bit, then you can bring out your sage powers. And remember, there are 5 sage powers. And also the sage perspective. Remember, the sage perspective says that anything that happens, whether situation, circumstance, or outcome, can be turned into a gift and opportunity. So, oftentimes we have stress because our expectation of the situation is not in line with what's actually happening. But so the sage perspective is saying, yes, you can still passionately and with all your power to try to achieve an outcome and do your best. But if that outcome doesn't happen, and you know how often things are not in our control, so when that outcome doesn't happen, you don't have to get stressed. You can actually say, hey, how can I turn this particular outcome into a gift and opportunity? And if you can look at every situation like that, then what is there to get stressed about? If things work out, then great, you can celebrate. If things don't work out, you can still say, hey, how can I make this a gift and opportunity? And so that's how this mental fitness concept, or PQ concept, can help you to manage stress. Now, the second thing I'm going to talk about is performance. How can you increase your performance at work or in your business or in any area of your life when you use more of this PQ concept? So use more of the sage and less of the saboteur. So how do the saboteurs interfere with our performance? They interfere. Oftentimes we don't get to the level that we're truly capable of is because of the saboteur. So I talked about different types of saboteurs. So first of all, the judge, the master saboteur, is judging ourselves. So that's giving us self-doubt, criticism, self-pity sometimes, and those emotions are not helpful in helping us to perform at our highest level. Also, we may be judging other people. And so when there's teamwork, when you're judging others, you're not cooperating with them. Or when you're judging others and then you judge yourself, you're comparing yourself to others, and that oftentimes creates some negative emotions. That's not helpful. Or we're judging the situation or judging the circumstance. And by doing that, we're wasting energy on energy that we could be spending on figuring out what we can do in a certain situation or how we can perform better. And then the other accomplice saboteurs, they also partner up with the judge to make you feel bad and rob your energy away from performing at your best. So for example, let's say you're a stickler, you're always wanting everything to be perfect. So even in situations where you don't need something to be perfect, you're spending extra time to make something perfect, and you might actually leave out some other things that are more important, right? Or it creates stress anytime that you feel like something is not perfect yet, and it creates that anxiety and also interferes with your performance. Or for example, the hyperachiever is constantly wanting to achieve, and sometimes it may give you kind of the results that you're looking for, but you're not feeling happy, and also you're having a lot of anxiety, and when you don't achieve to a certain level, then you get down on yourself, and that also robs away your energy. So that's how the saboteurs come and interfere with your performance. So then it's basically, it will serve us to try to really tune down the saboteurs anytime that we need to come to have a really high performance in any area of our lives. And so how can we, so once you tune down the saboteurs, then you can activate your sage. And we talked about the sage has 5 sage powers. And these sage powers, we say everyone has them. Remember, there is no test on the sage powers. That is because everyone has these 5 sage powers. And you may say, oh, I'm not good in being creative, or I'm not good at empathizing. Well, that's simply not true. Maybe you're not good at it yet, but with practice, with a little bit of knowledge, we can all get good at it because we all already have that within us deep down. So it's just about extracting those powers. All right, so anytime that you say you're not good at any of these powers, that's basically a saboteur thought. And any kind of saboteur thought is not the truth, it's a lie. So that's basically what I want to say here about the 5 sage powers. And when you can activate the 5 sage powers, you can really do anything that your heart desires. And of course, in certain situations, it might be more useful to use one power than another. But oftentimes in complex situations, it's necessary and useful to use all 5 powers, especially situations that involves multiple people. All right, so that's basically how, when you can tune out your saboteurs and tune up your sage, you can really increase your performance, whether it's at work, in your business, even in performing your hobbies. In athletes, oftentimes they choke on the last second on the court is because they have these saboteur interference. You think those basketball players that when they're practicing, they can't make a shot, a 2-point shot? No, it's because they get so nervous that their saboteurs come in and interfere, and that's how they can choke. And then that's why this concept is applicable virtually to anyone in any profession. All right, so that's about performance. And the last thing I'm going to talk about today is about leadership. And so there's so much research that has been done on leadership, and Daniel Goleman is kind of a really expert on doing a lot of leadership research. And he has said that what sets apart great leaders from just okay leaders is one thing, which is emotional intelligence, or EQ. And so this has been well researched. However, what is the issue with EQ, even though it's the absolute truth, is that there are so many competencies in EQ and emotional intelligence that the initiatives to roll out the competencies in EQ has not been very successful in most organizations. And so, however, what is at the root of EQ, or emotional intelligence? It's actually PQ, positive intelligence. So this ability to tune out your saboteurs and tune up your sage. And so when you can improve your PQ, so we talked about that PQ score, when you can do that, then you automatically improve your EQ. So we also said that over a short period of time, in basically 6 to 8 weeks, you can get some noticeable and significant changes in your PQ. And this can actually be seen in MRI brain imaging. And so that's how powerful this PQ system is. And so I'll leave it here for today, but what I do want to tell you is, so if you have enjoyed what I've been talking about so far, you've got some value out of it, I would love to invite you to a webinar where I'm going to put together all these concepts that I've been talking about so far on mental fitness. And more importantly, I'm going to tell you how you can start building your own mental fitness. Because up until now, what we've been talking about is to help you gain some insight, right? We've told you some concepts, maybe some of them are new, maybe some of them you already know, but I think if you've been watching this, you've gained some additional insight. However, based on research, insight is not enough to generate lasting and sustainable change. What is much more important, like actually 80% of what contributes to lasting and sustainable change, is mental muscle building when it comes to mental fitness. And so this is the same as the analogy I keep using on physical fitness. So it's not enough to just know about what are the exercises I can do to build my muscles in my body or become more physically fit. You actually have to go to the gym or go running or do some exercises to become physically fit. So same thing with mental fitness. It's not enough to just know about this concept of, oh, these are 5 sage powers, these are the 10 saboteurs, let me know which ones I have. When you know that, that's insight. That's important. You know, that contributes to about 20% of lasting change. But the other 80% is to actually to do the practices. So that's what I'm going to share with you in this webinar, how you can, what practices you can do to start building that mental fitness. And here we're not talking about years and years of practice. We're really talking about 6 to 8 weeks of practice, but it needs to be really intensive and you need to know exactly what to do. So I really hope to see you in that webinar next week. Please click on this link that I'm going to link below to register for it. And even if you don't find a time that works for you, please still register because you're going to get a replay video that you can watch on your own time. So again, thank you so much for watching this, and I would love to hear your comments and feedback. And please come back for one last session for tomorrow, which I'm going to talk about a few more of the applications of this mental fitness concept, such as in relationships, in parenting, and dealing with difficult situations, difficult relationships. All right, thanks so much, and you have a great day. Take care.